let us go ahead and real quick review. I would like you to repeat after me. We're going to chant for a second. Ah. Not I should articulate. Okay. Yeah, I'm sorry. Us. Very good. And then I'm going to say X. It's not because it makes that sound. It's because that marks the spot. It could be whatever. It's the wild card. XN. Very good.
M.
So we're going to talk about what the columns are called at the end of class today, but we're not going to do it right now, so you got to wait. So remember, nominative is a subject, accusative is a direct object. This one does the action, this one receives the action. So that is very basic, and that's all the grammar I feel like talking about right now.
Oh, accusative, we've missed you.
I love accusatives. It's my favorite case. It is
Vocative is my favorite.
Vocative is fun. I love the steadfast, strength of the accusative. Like, the vocative is like, wee! You get to call out names. And that is fun, especially with an imperative.
Vocative case.
I feel like accusative is like just the steadfast Hufflepuff of the cases. It's reliable. You know what it's going to look like pretty much every time. It's good. It holds its own. All right.
Can we just for a moment just look ahead and say, Wheelock, look, Laudare, you're back. The very first verb.
The very first verb.
Laudare.
So I had a very strange Latin high school experience. So my first Latin was actually not Wheelock. It was Latin for Americans, which was basically Wheelock with more pictures. And then I don't know why we did that the first semester, but then we switched to Wheelock. But so my first verb is amo, is not laudo. And I don't know who these laudo people are, because mine was definitely amo, and then we were making jokes about love all around that classroom.
That's right. I think mine was amo in high school. Yeah, because it was love.
Oh,
Laudo.
yeah, all the time. Yeah, well, the pure Wheelock people, it is definitely laudo, but I'm an amo, so.
Like the first word we learned in Arabic was chicken.
I do like
so.
That. That's better. Dijej.
Dijej.
That's so fun. Oh my gosh. Oh, beautiful. So, real quick, I know that, Whitney, you said you're not prepared, but I think you probably have enough basics to do what we're doing today, which is intraclinio. So we're going to just read it out loud, and then we're going to watch a movie, and then I'm going to ask you some questions. So I'm going to pull that up. Maybe I will. Maybe I won't. I'll go find it. I got to find it first. Where are you, intraclinio?
What page is that on?
It is on page 20.
20.
All right, and I'm going to start sharing my screen, and we're going to read it out loud, because reading out loud is cool for the cool people, which we are, because we are cool. All right, this should be bigger. Why is this only one page? That's fine. All right, I'm going to just quickly, I know most of these words you're very familiar with, you guys, but if you want to scan the vocab on the side, I like to scan it before I read to help my comprehension. I love that word, suaviter. Suaviter. I don't know. It's so pretty.
Suaviter.
4 syllables. Suaviter. And my students always wanted to say delectat is delights. And I'm like, yeah, it could be. But let's go with pleases. And this one is kind of, is this what I think? Yeah, this one's a little dirty, depending on your interpretation. So feel free to go there.
I remember reading this. I read this last week, and I was like, oh, Romeo, I see what you're doing.
And it continues the entire book. The whole book is nothing but that.
I finished the readings in stage 3, and oh, Melissa.
Yeah.
Matella did not like Melissa. It's like,
no.
Everyone likes Melissa. Matella does not like Melissa.
Yeah, it's spicy. And I was
like, ooh, I love this book.
It's a good book. You really get into the characters. And speaking of this book, Megan, can you read us the first 3 lines of intraclinio?
Grumio triclinium intrat. Grumio pavonem portat. Clemens triclinium intrat. clemens vinum portat, caecilius pavonum gustat.
Very good. And Whitney, the next 3 lines.
Pavo est optimus. Caecilius clamat. Can you do the first word for me again? Can you say?
Oh, the Pawo? Pawo.
Pawo? Okay, yeah.
Oh.
Mercator. See, coqua, not quiqua, right?
Quoque.
Yeah. See,
Ugh.
just as an aside, anything that looks French like that, you're gonna have to catch me on this.
You are gonna have some times.
just so you know. Just as some quoque. No. So quoque, right?
Quoque. Mm-hmm.
Quoque. Pavonium gustat, mercator canum laudat, dominis cocoium laudat, grumio exit.
Stage right. And then I don't know which side he's going in. He's going out somewhere. All right, and next 3 is Megan.
Ancilla intrat, ancilla suavitir cantat, ancilla dominum delectat, ancilla mercatorum delectat, mox dominus dormit, amicus quoque dormit. I love you're acting out.
Yeah, it's how you get middle schoolers to give a shit. That's how you do it. That is the only way. Is if we
on Sunday, and I was like, you're just acting out. I was like, this is the theater major in you.
It helps. It helps me a lot with this stuff. We do so much acting. There's like a whole acting project I do in like stage 6. It's it's the stage 3. I make them act out stage 3. Now that I'm remembering.
Oh, there's a lot in stage 3. Oh, that barber scene was.
I'm excited to get caught up, because I haven't read Mercator or anything, but I'll get caught up now that my unemployment is filed. Anyway,
yes.
Grumio triclinium intrat it's in circumspectat, cocus cibum in mensa vide. Grumio videt. See, fucking
French.
Grumio cibum consumit et vinum bibit. Caecilius grumonium non videt. Cocus in triclinio magnifice cenat.
Magnifique cenat.
Magnifique cenat.
That was lovely. All right. Yeah, it's magnifique. I mean, that French is going to get you every time.
Magnifique.
Every single time.
Mm-hmm. And then Megan, take it away for the end of the story.
Cocus ancillam spectat, ancilla grumionum delectat, grumio ancillam delectat, grumio est laetissimus.
Laetissimus. I love saying it. I don't know why. Every time I say a superlative, which is what that is, but we'll talk about what it is later, I always say laetissimus. Like I bounce in the middle of the word.
Laetissimus.
My kids would make fun of me with it, and I don't care. I love it. Laetissimus. It just sounds so fun to say. Okay, and just real quick, the last 3 sentences, not the very, very last one, actually, the second to last sentence and the sentence before that, the penultimate and the anti-penultimate sentence. Ooh, that was fun. Use the vocabulary.
Before.
Yes. So in the first one,
triple word score.
Yeah. Bing, 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 all the points. In Ancilla grumionem delectat. How do I know that Ancilla is pleasing Grumio and not the other way around? Whitney.
I'm sorry. Ask me again.
Yeah, it's hard, and I keep breaking up right now. I'm sure I don't know why, but so in the third to last sentence, it says Ancilla grumionem delectat. How do I know that the slave girl pleases Grumio and not the other way around?
The M on the end of the ending on it.
Grumionem, and that's telling us it's which case, nominative or accusative?
Accusative.
Very good. And then if we look at the next sentence, it's the opposite. We see that Grumio has turned nominative and Ancillam has turned accusative. So that's very intentional. They did that on purpose to make you literally contrast it in your head. So with that in mind, let's watch a video.
Grumio's a dirty boy.
He's very happy.
Oh my God. Stage 5, y'all. Just wait for stage 5. Just wait for stage 5. It keeps going. It doesn't stop. Okay.
Megan and I are reading ahead.
That's why we have an advanced class, and then we have the people who need a little bit slower, and that is good. And I will find this video. It's down here. It should be after the language activities. Oh, I think someone's bringing me food. Hello.
Hello.
I don't want to eat and talk because then I'll be really ugly. Thank you, darling.
Making Johnny cook after, like, I'm like, could you start dinner at 7:30 so that way we don't have to run into me running into food into class? Because last week he was like, you can just eat in class, and I was like, I don't eat on camera. Like,
yeah. No, you have to pay for that shit. I will not. All right. Do you want subtitles or no subtitles?
I don't think we need
Are the subtitles in Latin?
In Latin.
I will take subtitles.
You'll take some subtitles?
Sure,
okay.
why not?
I am plugging, and I'm going to play this video then with some subtitles for you.
I didn't watch this video. I have the online book.
Yes, this one's good. I like the pacing of this story. So here we go.
All of this is my reward for finishing my unemployment. So I get to do Latin as a reward, which is ridiculous.
You get it, and you get to enjoy and feel free to just make dirty jokes as you watch this. Here we go. Maybe.
Grumio triclinio mintrat. Grumio pavonem portat. Clemens triclinio mintrat. Clemens vinum portat.
You can see up your toga.
Acilius pavonem gusta.
Pavo est optimus.
Caecilius clamat. Mercator quoque pavonem gusta. Mercator canem laudat. Dominus coccum laudat. Grumio exit. Ancilla suaviter cantat.
College students that had to do this.
Ancilla dominum delectat. Ancilla mercatorem delectat. Mox dominus
I love this. They're just like,
dormit. Amicus quoque dormit.
for some reason that
Grumio
knee
triclinium
scandalizes middle
intrat
schoolers
et
so much.
circumspectat. Caucus cibum in mensa videt.
Oh,
Grumio cibum consumit et vinum bibit.
good call.
Caecilius grumionem non videt. Caucus in triclinio magnifica cena.
He'll eat on camera.
Caucus ancillam spectat. Ancilla grumionem delectat. Grumio ancillam delectat. Grumio est laetissimus.
Very nice. Little college students classes. You had to do this. All right.
So she's into the peacock?
The peacock.
I mean, no. I don't know what it is. I'm gonna plug this back in, and now we get to do a fun thing that we never do, which is translate. We get to actually do that old school thing that Cambridge does not encourage, because we're gonna turn a page and read the story Amicus, which is actually translation practice, which is lovely. So, and it is a different Amicus in this story. So, let me find a way to get that to work. There it is. Up to the story, up to the book. Did I already open the book? I did already open the book. That's good. All right, here we go. So, I'm going to read Latin, and then I will pass off the translations to you guys. We'll probably translate 2 sentences at a time. Okay?
Okay.
Oh, did y'all have any questions about intraclinio? I should have asked. I didn't. Yeah, it's pretty
No.
good. All right. So Whitney, start us off. Amicus grumionem visitat. Amicus est servus.
Grumio's friend is visiting. His friend is
pause. So if it was Grumio's friend, Grumionum would be genitive.
Right. So Grumio visits his friend.
Then Grumio would be nominative, but this is Grumio nem, which means he's receiving the action.
That's right. Sorry.
No, that's the point.
Grumio's friend is visiting him.
There's no word for him here. So how are we going to do this? Let's just translate nominative, verb, accusative.
Okay. So the friend visits Grumio.
That's the best way to translate this. And that's very literal. And we're going to try and translate as literally as possible. So the friend or his friend.
His
and
friend.
You can say is visiting, because in Latin there's no difference between a present and a present progressive. Visits and is.
Yeah, the tenses.
Yeah. And then the friend is a slave.
Yep. So which makes sense, They're the same social status.
Yeah.
And then Megan, servus Willam intrat, clemens est in atrio.
The slave enters the house. Clemens is in the atrium.
Very good. Whitney, servus Clementem videt. Just that one.
Hold on, that word I don't know. Like I said, I'm not.
It's okay. Which word is it?
Clemens sees the servant. Or the servant sees Clement.
Very good. Clemens, and it's just his name. And that's a really nice thing about this book, is if it has a capital letter, it's a proper noun, which is so nice, because they don't use capital letters at the beginning of sentences. So if you see a capital letter, you're either talking about a location or a person. And in this context, it makes sense to be a person, because I don't know how you would get Pompeii or Rome into the atrium of this little house. That would be a lot. So,
I mean, you could.
You could, if it were like a little, a little model, like Lego Rome, like Megan's making Lego friends.
Mm-hmm.
Lego Rome. Yes.
Lego Rome.
I think we did that I didn't do it. I heard about it and I didn't do it because I wanted to sleep. They built Rome in a day at UT. They found some tiny little gallery in downtown Austin, and they brought in every Lego that could be found anywhere forever, and they built Rome in a day. They picked a day in ancient Rome and they had records for it. They built Rome in a day. Nerds, very big nerds at the University of Texas, very big nerds.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah, not y'all. All right. I don't know where we were. Okay, Megan. Clemens servum salutat, servus calinam intrat.
Clemens greets the slave.
Mm-hmm.
The slave enters the kitchen.
Very good. So we know he's not going to get to go in the dining room because that's for fancy people. He can go into the kitchen to see his friend.
You go.
Yes.
Go Cocos.
Uh-huh. Go. And now, Whitney, you get that last sentence in the paragraph. Servus calinam circumspectat.
So is that the slave looks around the kitchen?
Beautifully done. Correct.
Mm-hmm.
And now I think what we'll do is we'll do 2 lines at a time. So Megan, you're going to get lines 5 and 6, Whitney 7 and 8, and then Megan 9 and 10. So here you go, Megan. I'm going to read the whole paragraph, and then I want you to translate. Grumio non est in culina, servus cibum videt. Cibus esperatus, servus cibum gustat, cibus est optimus.
Grumio is not in the kitchen. The servant looks for food.
And so that would be spectat. And what we have here is videt. It's more simple than
spectat. Sees the food. He sees the food, right? The slave sees the food. The food is ready.
Mm-hmm.
The slave tastes the food.
Mm-hmm.
The food is very good.
It's very good. And I had some crazy professor who said you can only translate Optimus as best. So I made my kids do that for 2 years, and now very good is better. Excellent is better here. Best works, but whatever. Excellent, very good, the best, whatever you want. Whitney, grumio calinam intrat, grumio amicum videt. Amicus cibum consumit? Cocos estiratus!
Grumio Grumio sees the kitchen.
That would be Ouida.
No,
You were right the first time.
Yeah, Grumio comes into the kitchen or enters the kitchen. Grumio sees his friend or the friend.
Mm-hmm.
The friend is eating the food. The cook furious.
Yes, angry. What are you doing? Get out of my kitchen. Maybe. I don't know. I don't want to jump the gun. But all right. And finally, pestis forcifer cocos clamat, cocos amicum vituperat.
Scoundrel, the cook shouts. The cook curses the friend.
Oh, so sad. And the friend is so sad. I was just trying a little bit.
Do what I want.
All right.
Pestis forcifer.
Pestis forcifer. So much. All right. And now we are technically done with stage 2. I do not know if you guys have done the other practicing the languages from here, but I think I'm going to say we aren't going to do that in class. We can do that for homework.
I did it
before class.
for the one, but I'll do this one after class.
There you go.
Yeah.
After class works. You've already done it, Megan. Did any of these were they sticky for you at all, or did they feel pretty good?
The only one I think was because it didn't say it in any of the stories, I think was H on this number 2, mater filium, the vituperat. I was like, the only one that made sense was vituperat.
Yes, yes, exactly. Because she can't drink her son. Please, and God, I hope she does not.
And she can't drink her son, and she can't sleep her son.
Again, we hope not. And there's a different word for that. So, and this isn't Oedipus. This isn't Oedipus.
It's like, this is Latin, not Greek.
So I'm just going to point out letter I because it's my favorite one because the children always get it wrong. And then I get to get a big horrified face and I prep it for that class. So letter I here has mercator, canem blank. And a lot of kids think canem is canum here. They transpose the A and the E to think that instead of dog, it says dinner. And it doesn't say dinner, it says dog as the accusative. Mm-hmm. So a lot of them pick consummate, and that would be the merchant eats the dog. And that is not correct. The correct answer should be audit. The merchant hears the dog, but that's my personal favorite.
When I did the online practice the reading, because I wrote it out, and then I did the online practicing the language, and I was like, it's not consumed. Dog, not food.
Not dinner. I'm not gonna eat this. No. Yep, good. I'm glad that you withstood the temptation. And we are doing so good on time. Oh my God. So good. Megan, if you've already done that, make sure you read the stage 2 culture because it is excellent and useful.
I did.
And then I like reading this one with my kids a lot. It's really fun. Mm-hmm. And so we're going to jump into negotium, which, let's not talk about what that word means unless you already know, then don't give it away. We'll talk about the definition of this word in a minute, but I just want to look at this image. So what are we looking at in this image? I know it's kind of blurry. What do you think, what kind of art is this?
It's like a town area.
Mm-hmm. And is this a sculpture, mosaic? What are we looking at?
That's a
looks like painting.
Mm-hmm. It's a fresco. So this would have been up on somebody's wall, and it is showing the harbor of Pompeii. So we can see where they would draw up the boats. We can see that the harbor is right there on the town. Right? It's not like you have, the Port of Houston down here and then downtown over there. They're connected really closely. And that is what we're looking at. We're looking at this port, and that's the biggest thing about Pompeii was its location because it was right there on the Bay of Naples, which is kind of like a little sea, and it was right there on the edge of the Bay of Naples, and you had a ton of trade coming into Pompeii, just a ton of trade, and then they had a very pastoral, very rich, loamy soil because you had the volcano right there, and volcanic soil is really good for farming. Also not good for you if you live in Pompeii in 79 AD. But yeah, so they had this really fertile location where they could do a lot of trade. And in fact, the word negotium, which we get our word negotiation from this, negotium means business. So Pompeii is a place of business, and we're going to look at some of the different types of businesses that these people would have done in Pompeii. So let's start. And notice there are no model sentences here. And the reason there are no model sentences is I know, right? It's because we don't learn any new grammar. All the grammar is the same. They're not introducing any new things. So model sentences only appear when you're really, well, with the exception of one story in two books away. They only appear when you're learning something new. So this is a stage all about practice. We're just going to keep practicing our reading.
Excuse me. I have to pee really quick. I'll be right back.
Go pee! Pee! So, hey, let's take a look at this dude right here while she's gone. What do you notice about this dude who I'm circling?
He looks very, he looks iratus, kind of angry.
Yeah, grumpy, a little grumpy guy.
He's got his hand, he looks maybe like he's sneaky.
Yeah, he's holding his hands together. That's very interesting.
And I'm like.
What do you notice about his feet?
He's barefoot.
Well, it looks like he's barefoot. It's actually he's wearing full shoes, not sandals. Where up to this point, all of the characters we've seen have been wearing sandals. Now, there would have been some barefoot characters. Slaves are often barefoot. But Romans wore sandals because their roads were paved. And, you know, if you're walking out in the grass, you don't need shoes. But if you're walking on hard, stone, you're going to need shoes on your feet. So he's not wearing sandals. And also, he is wearing a hat. Is he wearing a toga?
It's not something that looks like the others' togas. You know, it's like a cape.
Yeah, and it actually has built-in sleeves. Togas didn't have those. They were these big semicircles of fabric that you draped it over the front, and then you pleated it a lot like a sari, and then you swapped it over in front of you, and then tucked a thing there and tucked another thing there, and then you had a pocket. Love the pocket. And then you could pull this part over your head. But
he's a foreigner.
Yeah, he's a weirdo.
He's a foreigner.
He's an outsider. He's got a hat. He's got a beard, which no one has had a beard up to this point, and lots of like kind of wild hair. Yeah, this guy ain't from here. He not a Roman.
He doesn't have a neat haircut like the others.
No, he doesn't go to the barber all the time like them. No. And I don't know. I'm going to try and look a little bit. I'm zooming in. I think he's wearing pants.
Oh, yeah. He could be wearing like those Aladdin kind of pants, you know.
The big old poofy pants. And he is wearing a belt, which would kind of go with the idea of having pants, right? So that he can hold them up. So yeah, this bro over here is definitely not from Rome. He's definitely not a Roman citizen. He is dressed very differently from everyone else around. And so that's very common in Rome, in Pompeii too. They had, it's a port city, right? So you've got all sorts of people from all over the Mediterranean coming in. And this guy whose name is Sipax, which doesn't sound very Roman to me. His name is Sipax. He is going to be our little weirdo. Well, not weirdo. He's a foreigner. He's different in this story. So we're going to go ahead and read. I'm going to read through this and then just ask y'all some questions, okay? In foro. Caecilius non est in via. I see, I did it. I did the Spanish thing. Caecilius non est in villa. Caecilius in foro. In foro, negotiam agit. Caecilius est argentarius. Argentarius pecuniam numerat. Caecilius forum circumspectat. Oh, ecce! Artifex in foro ambulat. Artifex est clara. Clara caecilium salutat. Ecce! Tonsor quoque est in foro. Tonsor est, I love saying this name, Pantagatus. There you go. Caecilius tonsorem videt. Salve! Caecilius tonsorem salutat. Salve! Pantagatus respondet. Ecce! Vena licius forum intrat. Vena licius est Sipax. Vena licius mercatorem expectat. Mercator non venit. Sipax est iratus. Sipax mercatorem vituperat. All right. So, I know you've read it before, Megan, but like on a scale of 1 to 5, 1 being I did not understand at all. 5 being I read that it was like speaking my native tongue. Where were you on this, both of you, as I read that out loud?
About when the first time I read it, probably like a 7 to 8.
All right, there you go.
I'm sorry, we were on 1 to 10. I thought we were doing 1 to 5.
No, it's okay. Well, 7, 8. I think that means you're probably on the same boat, because if I take 4 and times it by 2, then we're at 8, which is great. So let's just go through. Why is Caecilius in the forum? Whoever wants to answer it.
He's doing business.
Doing business.
Doing his business. Very good. And his job is what again?
Banker.
He's a banker.
Which means he's going to count that money, right? And so when he looks around the forum, who does he see first? Which character?
The artist.
Clara.
The painter. Yeah.
Painter.
Yeah, the artist, the painter, and her name is Clara, and he does greet her. That's good to know. And then which profession of person, which person does he see next? Tell me their profession.
The barber.
The barber. And his name is Pantagatus. And he doesn't just say hello to the barber, but the barber actually talks back to him. They probably have a slightly more friendly relationship. The Romans got their hair cut a lot, and they tweezed like a Kardashian, like so much tweezing. They found so many tweezers in Pompeii, like 5 or 6 pairs of tweezers in every house. The Romans did not want their hair, so they would go to the barber frequently. And then
they got that
Brows
from
on
the
fleek.
Egyptians.
Brows on fleek.
Like they're in the 90s and they're doing speed. Like they just tweeze for days. Okay.
Just so much tweezing.
So then after Caecilius greets Pantagatus and vice versa, what happens next, Whitney?
He sees the slave merchant come into the area.
Yeah, the slave dealer comes up into the forum, and this guy's named Sipax. How does he feel right now, Whitney?
He's who? Sifax? He looks towards him. This is the sentence I'm not sure of.
Yeah, which
he
one?
Looks at Venticilius Mectatum expected. Does it look at he looks at him expectantly?
You're translating expectat as look at. It's waits for.
Okay. Thank you.
Mm-hmm. So he's waiting for this merchant. What's the problem? Mercator non it.
He didn't show up.
Yeah, and so how does Sipax feel? Sipax es deratus.
Angry.
He's unhappy, right? Because if he's probably got a schedule, right? He's got slaves to sell and business to do, and he's got to get back to his boat, and he's a stranger in a strange land. And yeah, he's got a lot of stuff, and this guy didn't show up on time, and that's not cool.
Now he's fucking mad.
And yeah. And I just love the word for this. This is a saculum. It's a little sack. And I like that.
Saculum.
This is his saculum, and it makes me good. It's your saculum. If you're ever angry at a romantic partner, you have a saculum.
Do we, spoiler alert, do we get pictures of Sportula or Sportuli?
Not in this book. Sportuli don't show up until the 3rd book, when we actually get to Rome.
My Latin 1 high school days. Sportula, we were obsessed with that.
It's a fun word. It's so cool.
Little gift baskets.
Little gift bags, you throw them out to everybody. Everybody gets a Sportula. Yep, a Sportula if it wants to be dative. All right, and now this is going to be a lot. I'm going to ask one of you to read the first half and one of you to read the second half of the story. So it's like a lot of reading, and we're just worried about reading it out loud. Who wants to go first?
I'll do it.
Go, Whitney, go. And I am going to be picky with you on your vocabulary just to help you get the sounds to feel natural.
Please do, because the French sneaks in all the time.
Mm-hmm.
So it's almost like they're related.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway. Artifacts ad William venit. William venit. Artifacts at Clara Ianium pulsat.
Good.
Clemens artificium non audit.
I'm going to hold you. Artificem. The C is always hard.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Artificum non audit. Servus est un horto.
Servus. with a W.
Serus est in harto, Clara clamat. Canis claram audet e latrat. Quintus canum audit. Quintus ad Ianum venit. Filius Ianum aperitit.
Okay, I'm going to stop you because this word Yanuam, it's a weird one. So it means door. Yanuam. Yeah, it's 3 syllables.
Got it.
Yanuam. It's gross.
Hold on.
Anyway.
So many vowels.
Yeah.
Sorry.
And it's like, well, the first one doesn't count and the middle one's short. So really it's only 2. And it's like, no, there's so many.
I had to mark them. Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Ianuum aprit, Clara quintum salutat, et vilium intrat.
Wheelam, W.
Wheelam, damn it. Fuck.
It's hard. It's a hard, yeah, that French is going to get you every time.
Metella est inculinia, quintus matrum vocat, metella atrium intrat, artifex metellum salutat, metella artificium et triclinium dulcit.
Very nice. Okay, and now go ahead, Megan. You got the second half.
Clara in triclinio laborat, Clara pictorum pingit, Magnus Leo est in pictora.
And I'm going to stop you because that's the first word we've seen with the G and the N together, and I want you to make the French noise because Whitney, her French was creeping in, and now we're going to get to do a little bit of French noise. So it's that Magnus up in the top of your nose.
Magnus. Magnus Leo est in pictora.
Mm-hmm.
Hercules quoque est in pictora. Leo Herculeum. Herculeum. Herculem. Ferocater petit. Hercules magnum fustum tenet et leonum verberat. Hercules est fortis. Caecilius ad viam revinet et triclinium intrat. Caecilius filiam vocat. Filia triclinium intrat. Lucia pictorum videt. Lucia artificum laudat.
That was really strong. And the only picky thing I'm gonna do for you is you like to say triclinium, and it is triclinium.
Triclinium.
There you go. That sounded good. Yeah, that American I, it creeps in sometimes, and you just gotta be like, no, American I, you don't belong here. None for you. So as you can see, we've got this lady painting a fresco, and I'm gonna just kind of go through, and I'm gonna ask you some leading questions to make you not translate, but answer very literally. Okay, so and this is to make you pay attention to the subjects and the direct objects. That's the way I'm asking my questions. So I'm going to start with Whitney. Mm-hmm. Where does the painter come to?
To the house.
Very good. And when she gets there, what does she do?
Knocks on the door.
Beautiful. And now I'm going to Megan. There's a problem. Did she knock loud or soft? This is
soft.
Why?
Because Clemens did not hear the artist.
Very nice. Very good. Now she could have been, it was just soft, or it could have been there was something loud going on, because Whitney, where was Clemens? Where was the slave?
He was in the bedroom. No.
Horto. Horticulture.
He's in the garden. Sorry.
Beautiful. It's good. You're fine. So because he didn't hear her, what did she have to do, Megan?
She had to yell or shout.
Mm-hmm. She had to shout. And who heard her? Whitney.
The dog.
The dog. And what did the dog do?
Starts barking.
Very good. And then who hears the dog, Megan?
Quintus.
And because he hears the dog, what does he do, Megan?
He goes to the door.
Very good. And once he gets there, apparet, he opens the door, right? And then there's some greeting and some coming into the house, which is what we would expect. So once they're in the house, what does Quintus do? I'm kind of skipping a sentence, Whitney.
Goes to get his mom, essentially.
Goes to get her? Does he walk?
Calls for his mom.
Yeah, he calls for her. And where was she, Megan? Ma!
She was in the kitchen. Mom,
that's your vocative. Mater! There's your vocative. Yep. And so Metella comes in to the atrium, and there's some greeting, etc. Where in the house, Megan, does Metella take the painter or lead the painter? Where does she lead her to?
It looks, she enters the atrium, they greet, and then they go to the triclinium, the dining room.
Yep, she leads her there. And so this is a painter. Obviously, she's going to be painting in there. Why do you think they're going to have her come in and paint the dining room? Why have a painting, a fresco in the dining room? This is anybody. This is not about the story. It's just
something awesome to look at. Just so that while they're eating.
Snack on some grapes.
Yeah,
and maybe look at Hercules's lack of pants and his tiny little,
his tiny peen.
He's
gonna do it.
His Roman dingle dangle, as I like to say.
I don't believe this is Hercules because he's not wearing a lion head. So
you're right. Well, he hasn't killed it yet.
Well, hurry up, because I can't tell.
Yeah, I can't tell. No shit. If you have no lion head, no Hercules. That's what I said, right? And this also, because there's another reason, is that this would get you telling stories of strength. So they would paint things on the wall that they thought the people around them would be interested in. So if they have a teenage son, then painting this type of hero, if he's going out and hunting and things like that, this is going to be a type of story. Yeah, this is going to lead for inspiration for the kind of hunting tales that he might be telling.
I drew a picture for our triclinium. You want to see it?
Yeah. Is it a dick? It's a dick with wings! With wings! That is the most Roman thing ever.
Inspiration.
I was like, at the end of the book, everyone has to make me a wing a dick wind chime, like they had in their garden.
Like they had in Pompeii.
They had it in Pompeii.
And then we can write some graffiti on it about people that they like to have sex with.
Yep. It'll be all
Roman
good, y'all.
Dingle dong.
A Roman dingle dangle. That's it. A dingle dang. It's not a dingle dongle. That would definitely not be it's a dingle dangle. They ain't a lot there. And that's okay. If I were fighting a lion, I would not want a lot out.
I noticed that he also tweezed.
Yes, much tweezing. You wouldn't want any hair down
there. He's very shaved.
I don't even want to think about the tweezing.
But you know, I think about it now, but I feel like actually
that razor.
Not even think, but the Egyptians actually were more into waxing than tweezing. So like, yeah, if you guys didn't know that, they were big into waxing. So
I don't do that. That just makes me want to scream. Just thinking about waxing, I'm like, nah.
They had the honey, they had the beeswax and the honey to do it. So wax.
Ouch. It hurts. It hurts. And even though no one's touching me, it hurts. Okay, so I'm going to keep us moving forward. Clara in triclinia labra, Clara picturam pingit, Magnus Leo est in pictura. So, Megan, what is the first thing we are told is in the picture?
Big lion.
Big lion, big old lion, right? Hercules quoque, big old lion. Hercules quoque est in pictura. So Hercules is there too. And Leo Herculem ferociter petit. Who is attacking whom, Whitney?
The lion is attacking Hercules.
Yeah, it's not the other way. And Hercules magnum fustem tenet et leonem verberat. And what is Hercules doing, Megan?
He is holding a club.
Et leonem verberat.
At the lion and striking the lion.
Yep, he's hitting this. He's beating. My favorite translation for Werberot is beating, and it works in this adult context.
Werberot.
Yeah, he's holding his club and beating that line, right? So you can never make these jokes when I'm teaching in a public school. Never, ever. No jokes. So, okay, Hercules est fortis. Now, this word can mean brave or strong. What translation do you want it to mean in this context, either of you?
This feels more like a brave situation.
He's coming at a lion. That's
yeah.
Yeah,
Brave.
I agree. I think in this context we're going more with brave because of he's putting himself in danger. If we're reading about Atlas, and holding up the heavens and all of that, then it might be strong. But here we're seeing it as brave. So Caecilius ad Willem re venet. There's our first preposition, re venet, at triclinium intrat. So what does Caecilius do? He gets home, and what does he do? Either of you.
Enters the dining room.
So he kind of already knew she was there. That might be why he greeted her in the morning. Maybe he hired her to do that day, right? So he comes straight into the dining room to check out the work, right? Caecilius filiam vocat, filia triclinium intrat. And who does he call Whitney to come in the dining room with him?
His daughter.
Lucia picturam videt, Lucia artificem, yep, laudat. And Megan, does she like the painting or does she not like it?
She likes it. She praises it.
Exactly. Very, very good. So the reason I just did that with you, and I know that was a little bit slow and painful, is because eventually we're going to start hitting Latin that you're probably less familiar with. And this is where, by going over it in this way, we're going to intuitively start asking ourselves these questions to get through the sticky spots. And I think that is all we have time for today. Stage 2, practicing the language, was the homework. I'm going to ask you, if you've already read the story, that's totally fine, but you do not need to.
Good. Consort is good.
It's a good story. And then and if you want to read the stage 3 culture, it's cool. I like it. It makes me happy. So, and they don't put any of these things on the map, but I'm going to point it out for you right now. Anywhere there's a temple of Venus, it means that's where the prostitutes were. So this was a big deal brothel area right here. And then there's another one over here between the two main baths. So we had one brothel over here and one brothel right there where the port was so the sailors could get their jive on. So.
I'm sure you know this already, but there was actually also a temple to Isis.
Yes.
In Pompeii.
Yes, it's so cool.
They had Nile water that they had there to have a temple of Isis, which I think is rad.
In the last chapter, and I can't tell you why it's important, but that's actually a really important part of the last chapter of this story.
Oh, sweet. Yeah, I always liked that. I thought that was cool.
Very cool. So, and before I let you go, because we're doing okay on time, I just want to kind of give you a heads up in case you choose to, we have to stop having class or whatever. So the first book is entirely in Pompeii. The second book, which is blue, the first half of it takes place in Britain, Roman Britain. So you get a completely different culture and you learn a lot of other stuff that I didn't know before I started working with this text, because I didn't study Roman Britain really at all. I just studied Italy. So that's really cool. And then after you go to Pompeii, and so that's the first half of the second book, then you do not Pompeii, Roman Britain first half of the second book, and then you go to Alexandria as a flashback in the second half of that book. Fun. And then you don't make it to Rome. So you basically go to the three corners. You go to near Rome, but not quite in Rome, and then up into the north to Britain, and then down to Alexandria, and then the third book is in Rome. So they hold Rome away from you for a long time, which is kind of cool. All right.
And Cicero.
They
hold and Cicero.
I hate him.
Everybody hates him. Everybody hates him. We could read something nice, but no. It's just Cicero being a cock from years in the past.
I'll just read more Ovid because I like Ovid. Okay, cool. Thank you guys.
I'll be caught up next time. Sorry about that.
No, you're good. You had life.
Good.
I'm going to use this flying dick as a bookmark. And
yes!
Dingle dangle.
Roman dingle dangle. There's your Roman dingle dangle.
I'm gonna go on my rides. So I'll see you guys later.
Hey, bye.
Bye. Have fun.
It was awesome. See you later.